You know, Dr. Dogo, I'm going to come back to the issue of violence, in elections, because whether or not you like it, that has been one message that has been in public sphere. Will I say something that people are afraid of? Anxiety. Professor Bolaji Akinyemi wrote about it. He also talked about people stockpiling arms in our own country, and we don't even know how that is making its way into our borders. But let us also look at the necessity for this speech. I know that the president has been president for quite a while now, but usually, traditionally, he gives the May 29 message. He also gives the October 1 message. And traditionally, we've seen that that is what we've come to expect. But this time around, he's chosen to give a New Year's message. Usually what you have is a speech written and sent around, disseminated to media houses, but this time around he decided to do a broadcast, as it were. What do you think this was meant to achieve?
This is meant to achieve the purpose of peace. This is to emphasize that we don't need violence during elections. This is an election year, and he is doing the very right thing to emphasize to Nigerians that, look, don't go out to kill. Don't foment trouble for any reason. Simply go out and vote. Do your campaign peacefully. Do whatever you are doing to achieve the purpose for what you are out to achieve peacefully. No violence. There is no need to insult anybody. There is no need to carry arms. There is no need to carry even firewood. There is no need to carry even a stick. There is no need to even use a newspaper to try slapping somebody. There is no need for it. And those who die, what do they gain in the first place? Are they ever remembered?
Your voice sounds like an appeal. I mean, I'm listening to you, and what I get from you is you're appealing. What came from the president wasn't an appeal. It was, if you misbehave, you definitely get sanctioned. It was very stern. That will not be allowed. Those were his words. I don't know if we can play just that part back for you. So you say, do you think that that sort of message is stern enough to fellow politicians? Because they might say, we do not instigate the violence. Naturally, politics is an emotive game, and supporters do get emotional.
No. It's not an emotive game. In the Nigerian context, many people see it as a do or die affair, and that is why the president is very stern on that. You see it? Many people see that, look, they have the monopoly of wisdom, knowledge, and everything, and they must be there, whatever the situation. Many of them are so pessimistic, even about themselves, that they don't see anything good in any other person, which is wrong. Because your views do not necessarily translate to mean that you are better than the other or the person you are contesting against. And that is why the president is saying what he's saying. And from the experience of 2011, we all knew exactly what happened. For example, in Kaduna State, when violence erupted, the election took place on Saturday. And no result had been announced, but by Sunday morning, many parts of southern Kaduna were on fire. Nobody could have said that, look, it was as a result of announced elections. It was simply a perceived idea of what they thought was going to be. It means they already felt defeated, and they felt that, look, they should go out and kill and maim people. That should not be the case. And the armed forces, the police, everybody, I believe they have been mobilized, and they have been told exactly what to do. When they were afraid about Ekiti, you saw exactly what happened. Oshun, you saw exactly what happened.
You're talking, the way you speak now, it seems like it's only the opposition that is afraid, or it is the opposition.
No, I'm not talking about opposition.
Just a moment, as if it's the opposition that instigates violence. Because you said in Ekiti, in Oshun, when they were afraid, who was afraid?
Both parties. Whether opposition or whatever, I don't even think of in terms of opposition. When you go to an election, at that material time, there is no issue of opposition. You only have contestants.
Okay.
Do you get it? But if another party feels that, look, I'm being shortchanged, or this and that and all whatnot, and they start fomenting trouble, it doesn't make sense.
You've talked about, what happened in Kaduna, something led to one thing, and it was a cause and effect, kind of situation. Do you think that INEC too also has a great role to play in this?
INEC did not do anything that warranted what was taking place. and I cannot see INEC's role in allowing any form of violence. And to be honest, INEC has been most prepared in all the elections and provided enough security to deter any right-thinking person from getting violent in any form. And I think INEC has been doing the right job. They have been doing their very best in providing security.
Before we come to what they're doing now, about the violence that broke out previously, I mean, some people wonder, did we need a speech from the president for the security agencies? No, let me complete it. So for security agencies to know that if anyone falls short of the law should kick in.
Oh, the president is not talking to the security agencies. He's talking to all of us.
No, but if he says that if anyone foments trouble, it will not be tolerated. In 2011, when that violence happened, lots of people ask, what did we do with those offenders?
In the first place, you have to say, look, who were the offenders? Nobody was expecting anything of that nature. You have to understand that. Nobody expected those kind of things. So the security agencies were not anticipating that anybody is going to act the way they did. But that is a lesson to them. And so at present, anybody that tries it will be in trouble. They now know better that, look, we did not anticipate anything that time, and this is what happened. This time around, if anybody does that, he will be in trouble. No, and nobody will do that now and will go free.
So it means that those who did it before, no prosecution, no investigation.
No, it is not an issue of no prosecution. You don't even know those who did it.
Why don't we? We have agencies.
That is what I'm... no.
Security.
See, you know, the elections have been taking place and you did not experience something like that. And you were not anticipating anything of that nature. Do you get it? And so if it happens...
For politicians or for security, can security say they did not anticipate that?
No.
Isn't that a lapse if they don't anticipate that kind of scenario?
No. Don't say the security agencies that was a lapse.
No, it's a question. Isn't that a lapse?
No,
if you say
in my view, at that time, if it happens now, it is a lapse. If it happens now, if it had happened in Ekiti or in Oshun or in Edo or in any other place, Anambra, I would say that then they have failed in their responsibilities. And you can see that they checkmated every move of everybody, whatever your status, whatever your level, and they did successfully. And we're expecting them to do exactly the same thing in this 2015. You see, that time, there were no anticipations of these things because Nigerians have always been peaceful and elections have always been taking place in such a manner that you were not expecting any form of violence. So if the violence had already taken place, the people have disappeared. How will you...
No arrest?
Dogo, I think that hasn't answered Chimala's question. I was waiting to see if you get the meat. He's asking the question, must we wait for a declaration or a statement from maybe the governor or the president, as the case is now, for them to know what to do? In the first place, even the Boy Scout, the motto for the Boy Scout is be prepared. And we thought that's a cast and stone motto for every security agent. So we shouldn't be talking about they were taken unawares.
No.
2011 has given them, well, an insight into other elections. Why did they let it fail in the first place? We still didn't get an answer to all of those questions.
No, I've already given you an answer to that one.
Maybe I missed it.
Anticipation, expectation, and historical antecedents make people to act and react the way they do, isn't it? Including the security agencies.
I'm happy you talked about historical antecedent. We have seen, because I've been in this country and I've seen violence before 2011. And recall then in old Oyo State and so many other places in Ondo then, we had seen how violence... in the Second Republic in the 80s, we saw what happened then when we had UPN and NPN.
From 1999...
And these are the same Nigerians, so we would have thought that the same security agencies would have known
from
that...
1999 till that time, did you have things of that nature?
No, but
you did not, isn't it?
No,
because you spoke about historical antecedent. That's why
we are talking of historical antecedents, but we are looking at the recent historical antecedents. If you have had 3 elections and nothing of that nature happened, isn't it? And you will simply, I mean, a normal person will simply assume this. But I'm not saying that at that material time. Look at it this way. If they were not even proactive, maybe more lives would have been lost. if they did not react the way they did,
are they truly independent? Because if we must hear statements from governors or the presidency,
the president is
or attorney general. Recall.
No, he is not talking to the security agencies.
We're not looking at this administration alone.
I agree with you.
Even though we're looking at a speech. You know why I'm saying this? We recall what happened then in Anambra. It took a president to ask the governor then to vacate and obey a court order. We have seen it. So why must we wait for someone somewhere to pronounce before someone acts?
No. You are assuming the
it's
president's
not assumption. It's not assumption because I can give you classical examples.
The president is not talking to security agencies. The president is speaking to Nigerians, and not all Nigerians. The president is speaking particularly to politicians. Do you see it? That is the crux of the message. He is speaking to me. I'm a politician. He is telling me, Isuwa, don't be violent. If you were politicians, I will assume the same thing. The speech is directed specifically to politicians to be peaceful and to avoid any act of violence.
Why?
Directly or indirectly. Not to security agencies,
really,
not to ordinary Nigerians
Dogo,
who are peace-loving.
Why is it that truly politicians don't know the importance of having a peaceful,
selfishness,
a peaceful
country? I've already said it's selfishness. When people think that they have the monopoly of wisdom and knowledge, and they believe that they're the most qualified and nobody else should rule except them. I've already said that, isn't it? That is the reason. And they look at elections as a do-or-die affair, which is not. It should be a win-or-lose affair. And anybody who is a true, sincere politician who goes into violence, preaches violence, or acts violently does not deserve to lead anybody, not even rats or chickens. Yeah, anybody who is violent in nature, who thinks and talks and acts violently, who employs other people to be violent on others, should not be allowed to lead anybody. Even his household is unfit to be a leader. But the thing